Live at the political desk. It's Wednesday, so we're talking to candidates who have made the runoff in May, the May 24th runoff election. Today, I'm visiting with Texas Railroad Commissioner Wayne Christian. Wayne is the incumbent, and he is joining us via Zoom today. Wayne, welcome. It's an honor to have you with us.
Hey, it's a privilege to be with you, and thank you for the opportunity to visit.
Well, I'm glad you're here. The Railroad Commission race is one that is at the top of the ballot, and it's one that sometimes voters struggle to get to know who's actually on the ballot, and that's why we're visiting today. So you've been on the Railroad Commission for about 6 years, and you're running again. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, education, family, that sort of thing.
Well, I'm from Deep East Texas, born, bred, raised, and stayed. I live in the big city of Center, Texas, almost to the Louisiana border. For about 14 years, I was elected back in 1996 to the Texas House of Representatives, and I was the first Republican since Reconstruction. So I went in as a minority member of the legislature. For 3 years, I was the Republican with the most Democratic district in the entire state.
Wow.
And so I know how to be on both sides of the aisle on issues. I served in the House on the Energy Committee, the Regulated Industry Committee, so I've had a lot of experience at regulating oil and gas and the Railroad Commission, well aware of its work, and I've served there now. This will be my second term if the voters honor me to be reelected, and just look forward to continuing to serve at an exciting time in history.
Great. Now, the Railroad Commission is sort of misnamed. It's evolved over the years, and you don't actually regulate railroads. It's more oil and gas and wind and solar. What does the Railroad Commission do?
Railroad Commission regulates everything under the ground, basically, that belongs to the taxpayers. And my job is to make sure, the Railroad Commission's job is to make sure that we take care of that we don't waste the energy, that we utilize it, that we make it profitable. We regulate oil, gas, coal, the nuclear, uranium, anything under the ground. We are pretty well in charge of the pipelines, regulating them, the flow of natural gas, basically from underground till it gets to your house, not to your house, but to the refinery on oil and processing of natural gas. So that's our job from underground to that. The Railroad Commission of Texas itself has been represented by Forbes magazine as the most important respected regulatory agency on planet Earth for oil and gas. We're 130 or so years old. We're respected worldwide. We're responsible for what we do at the Railroad Commission. Represents 1/3 of the Texas economy, 1 out of every 10 jobs. It's all of the rainy day fund, all the permanent school fund. So it's a very important agency that may have kind of a misleading name to what we do.
Okay. Now, the issues facing the Railroad Commission, they're international pressures. So the invasion of Ukraine, for instance, and perhaps the XL pipeline have an impact on the Texas energy industry. Where is that situation right now?
Well, I'm honored Governor Abbott allowed me to be his appointee to the Interstate Oil and Gas Compact Commission, which are 31 states and Canada that oversee oil and gas. I served as first vice chairman to that organization the past couple of years. I was responsible of sending every resolution that was anti the curtailment of oil and gas. We were against the Green New Deal, against the federal regulators taking control from the states over oil and gas. So I've led the fight nationally and with Canada on trying to turn away those that would threaten oil and gas. Texas, in that same time, has moved from a place of around 40% of the oil and gas production in the United States. Now we're number is about 50%. And if we were a nation alone right now on oil and gas production, we would be number 3 on planet Earth as a nation. Texas has been blessed with an unbelievable amount through history and today of oil and gas. And that's what I feel responsible for. That's our job, is to make sure it plays a part. And now we can see readily how Winston Churchill over my shoulder said the war was won, World War II, on a sea of oil from East Texas. Now West Texas has the largest amount of oil on planet Earth, and we have been awarded again by the good Lord with that abundant resource. And what a difference I think we can see now in a White House and a nation that sees the importance of oil, and it makes on planet Earth with the horrible Ukraine situation.
So my guess is that the Biden administration's energy policies are having a negative impact on the oil patch here in West Texas.
Yes, definitely they have. And fighting them, I think probably right now is probably my preeminent job, that I need to defend Texas oil and gas. I am proud that at a time that we were told to cap the production of Texas oil and gas back when it went to negative number for the first time in history, I'm proud that I worked with all the royalty owners, the oil and gas associations across Texas, and I made the decision that instead of big government coming in, trying to fix that terrible situation we had, I worked with them, and we came up going to the private market to get the answer. I believe the private market fixed that situation. With the price of oil is reaching record levels right now, but we need to turn loose again our industry. Wall Street has been responsible for a lot of the pullback. These environmental, social, and governance funds, I, as an old stockbroker by profession, have been able to fight that in some of these companies that have come in, and was helped with the law that the legislature wisely passed, saying if you're going to discriminate against oil and gas or guns in the state of Texas in financing, we're going to pull all of our billions of dollars out of your institution. And I helped lead that fight. So we're fighting back and winning in a lot of levels. And again, Texas portion of production since Biden has come in, actually the percentage, while not the volume, has gone up because of our fight from Texas.
All right. This is you're no stranger to runoff elections, and you've made this one. The thing is, you got to get your name out. So this is, and you have to have a really solid message. So this is where I'm going to step away from the microphone, and this is unfiltered. This is Wayne Christian's message to the voters of Texas. So take as long as you want. I'm not going to interrupt or ask any silly questions. So Wayne, the microphone is yours. Tell the people, the voters, what your message is.
Well, I believe that Texas has been given an opportunity to make history around the world right now is an unbelievable time in history. I am the only candidate with experience, again, regulating the Railroad Commission through the legislature 14 years. I've been there for 5. I've led through the downturn largest in the history of the industry. We've had, during my 5 years, record plugging of abandoned wells. The past 5 years, we've exceeded what the legislature wants to do in capping abandoned wells. 63,000 injection wells have been studied since 1982, and the EPA commended the Railroad Commission that there was no primary drinking water or even secondary resources of drinking water that had been polluted that could be identified since 1982. We have won the Conservation Award at the United States level, top in the nation, the Railroad Commission, for our cleaning up of land and reef and fills all over the state, but especially Padre Island won the national award for that one. So we are conservationists. And we are proud that we've been able to get flaring down in Texas from about 2.7% 3 years ago now to less than 1/4% of natural gas is being flared in Texas. So I have a record. We've set the record while I'm there. Credit to the 800 plus fine employees across the state of the Railroad Commission of Texas for accomplishing that. But I've been honored to be a leader in that. And if they'd like to contact me or look at what my record has been through about a decade and a half, they can go to christianfortexas.com. Remember that early voting starts back on May the 5th, the 16th through the 20th, election day, the 24th. And if you're confused on who to vote for on the ballot, just remember to vote for the only Christian on the ballot. And that's
All
me.
right. And there's, just looking at the information we have, there's also, there'll be a Democrat in November and a Green candidate and maybe even an independent. So once you secure the nomination for the Republican Party, then you've still got another election in November.
Yes, and even Mr. Beto, running for governor, brought up at Southwest in Austin in an interview that his big theme was going to be the storm and how the governor did not, he think, fill the bill on the requirements. I think the legislature, the governor did an excellent job, and he said he's going to use the Railroad Commission as a target for that. Well, to educate Mr. Beto real quickly, the Railroad Commission does not have anything to do with the generation of electricity. We're natural gas, oil, and coal, and I'm sorry, Mr. Beto, you pointed in the wrong direction for that election, but it's going to be a very interesting general election. It's basically going to be, do you want to go Joe Biden's AOC's, Al Gore's, John Kerry's direction with Texas oil and gas and risk a third of our economy? I don't think so, and I think I'm the only Republican candidate in the race that has voted in every Republican primary since, before Reagan was ever elected.
All right. Wayne Christian, the incumbent railroad commissioner for the state of Texas, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to visit with us here at San Angelo Live.
Honored to be with you.
All right, thanks. We've been talking with Wayne Christian, Texas Railroad Commission. Again, he said the election, the runoff election, is in May 24th. We have 3 local runoffs as well, so that should generate some interest on the local ballot in Tom Green County. And until next Wednesday, I'm Yantis Green for San Angelo Live.